directed by Steve Barkett, who apparently did a lot of vanity films, or at least enough that we know of another one. And what was that? Empire of Darkness?
Empire of the Dark?
Empire of the Dark, yeah. And like that film, this one was very soundtracked with this very orchestral score.
Mm-hmm.
And I do wonder about that. I don't know. I assume it wasn't as easy back then to just get public domain soundtracking. So you wonder if they actually had rights to this, and if why they would be able to allocate that kind of budget to it when otherwise it was fairly low budget.
I do have info on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's a fellow by the name of John Morgan. He's a composer. It was his first feature film that he.
Is that a big M, little organ?
That's right. Big M, little organ.
Carry on.
Yep. He, I don't know, maybe he was working cheap. The whole budget on this movie was $250,000. And yeah, he really did overdo the score on this. And
yeah, you'd think something exciting was happening in some of these scenes.
I know.
They got $500,000 in the score alone.
But according to the commentary, it just seemed like Steve Barkett was all in on it. I think John Morgan sort of ran the score, and yeah, he just put his stamp of approval on it, approved, and went with it.
I prefer that though to the movies where there's the action sequence going on and there's the jazz flute playing, which is the shit that really pisses me off about a lot of 70s films, at least by 1982. I guess maybe they knew better a little bit. And in fact, when did Indiana Jones come out? Because this seemed to have hints of
like
Indiana
83
Jones.
or something, maybe.
This movie was 82, so maybe maybe the Indiana Jones similarities that I was seeing are just incidental and more had to do with what people thought the action guy would be like. But this movie, like The Aftermath, it's about a couple astronauts coming back to Earth, and their ship starts exploding for some reason. They crash land into the ocean. They crawl out of the water, and the world is in some kind of post-apocalyptic state. Apparently, there was nuclear war, and there's zombie cannibals running around and roving gangs, and they just have to negotiate all of that. And then he meets a few of the other like non-zombie cannibal people in the world, and it's really bad luck for him there. I mean, eventually he does hook up with a love interest lady, which I guess they had to do. But before then, it's looking pretty dire because he encounters an old man and a young boy, and he's immediately way too friendly with the young boy. And to the point there where, admittedly, I'd had an edible, but there was a point where after he had met the woman and he got into a fight with her or whatever, and then they reconciled, and then they go and start porking. And of course, because it's a vanity film by this guy, we have to see, whole porking scenes, and she's got to be totally naked, and he's got to be killing everybody else afterwards, and, the full focus of everything. But he does this lovemaking scene with her, and then they cut to like a scene where he's on the couch, his shirt off, and he's got the boy nestled up next to him, and he's talking.
Oh, he's giving him that big like
moment,
speech about
like,
the bully.
Wait a fucking minute! Don't tell me that the woman was imaginary.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.